What's going on, my fellow troops? My name is Xavvo and welcome back to a brand new video. So today's video is going to be a long one and it's going to be very rambly, so I hope you've got your biscuits and tea prepared, boys. But yeah, I don't drink tea. I don't drink tea. I've been drinking it for a long time. I hope you're prepared because this is going to be a different one. I have done many controversial videos on the channel before, you know, kind of discussions and little mini rants, but this one is going to be pretty similar to that of my Black Ops Cold War is bad rant, or whatever it was, where I went off on a hissy fit about how shit Cold War's multiplayer mainly was during the time that I made the video. But today I'm going to be talking about something a bit bigger in scale. Today we're going to be talking about Call of Duty in general and why I think the game is becoming broken, and I think the franchise in general is just, it's dying, and it really sucks to see because for people like me, or just other people who really love Call of Duty a lot, and, you know, we play it a lot, we play it avidly nearly every day, or we make videos on it, you know, to see the possibility that the game, or the franchise in general, could literally just die, it could crumble, and we're already seeing signs that the newer COD games aren't well received by, you know, players or by the community in general. And I mean, I generally don't give a shit about what the community thinks, because honestly, I hate communities. In almost all circumstances you can account for, the communities are just fucking terrible. They're like the most cancerous places on earth. But you've got to give credit where it's due. The Call of Duty community is standing up against the bullshit right now, and they're trying to make a call for action, because it's absolutely fucking ridiculous what's happening to Call of Duty. It's generally getting worse and worse, and I think one of the main things we can see this year with Call of Duty Vanguard is the zombies has come out in terrible condition. And if you think about it, zombies has always had this renowned name for it being really good and really in-depth and interesting, and because they didn't bring a Call of Duty Zombies out during Modern Warfare, when it came back in Cold War, it was a hit, and you can't deny it. You look at the numbers, Cold War Zombies was a major success, and I think most people were going to play it over multiplayer, me included, and they released another Zombies this year, and it came out like a copy and paste with half-assed effort that just isn't good. Like, it's terrible. In fact, I don't know anybody who's even grinding for Zombies this year, at the moment anyway. There is no round-based Zombies maps, and the camera grind is pretty fucking terrible for what it is. It actually puts DM Ultra at a higher spot because it's that bad. Literally, I would probably rather do DM Ultra grind in multiplayer for Cold War than do the Dark Ether grind in Vanguard Zombies. But yeah, that's not what this video is about. This video is about Call of Duty and the Caldera update, the Season 1 update. Yeah, this has legitimately fucked Call of Duty over, and it's actually really, really annoying, actually, because I haven't experienced tons of these issues, but just seeing plain proof of people going into games and experiencing these issues, it just makes me think, like, what the fuck? Is this actually happening right now? And to be fair, I've experienced some of these myself. So let's get straight into the beef, the juicy stuff. So first things first, the Call of Duty update that recently happened for Season 1 with Caldera. As you all know, it came to Warzone, it was pretty big, yeah, you know, new map, lots of colour to it, it's, you know, new Vanguard update, it's pretty exciting, right? Well, the first thing I think that's just really fucking dumb is they launched this update on the Modern Warfare engine, which, to be specific, is a 2-year-old game now, so considering Vanguard is literally supposed to be written off as a Modern Warfare engine that's highly improved, I don't get why it's still running on Modern Warfare. Let's be honest, I know it's very difficult to move a game from one client to another, and it will have a lot of issues and bugs with trying to do so, but I doubt it could come out any worse than the amount of bugs you're going to see that I label in this video. Quite literally, Modern Warfare, right? It's a great engine. We all know Modern Warfare has one of the best movement, gameplay, gunplay, sound, everything, right? It's got the best attention to detail. But Vanguard quite literally boasts about how amazing the quality is and how it's going to be a better game for, you know, with the Modern Warfare engine and all this sort of shit. And, you know, considering it generally is, like, Vanguard's movement and gameplay and gunplay is smooth and just feels so much better than Modern Warfare's. Why the fuck did they not move it onto Vanguard's thing? And to be fair with you, it would be easier to switch between Warzone and the latest COD game, you know, that being Vanguard. It would be a lot easier for players than having to go rummage into their fucking, you know, pile of Xbox games or PS games, for example, or if they have it digital, you know, they could do that. Having to open up Modern Warfare and then boot up Warzone, which just takes longer when they could just be able to open it from the homepage of Vanguard. It would make more sense. Why are they not moving it to the newest one? I just don't get that. That seems really fucking dumb. As I say, considering it is a Modern Warfare engine, why don't they just move it to Vanguard? And it will cause half as much stress. But that's not the only thing. I think it would just be nothing but W's if they did that. I mean, Vanguard literally has a field of view slider for console. So if they did move it to console, for console players, if they did move it to Vanguard, you know, we would experience field of view on console, and I personally find that very fucking annoying that we still don't have a field of view slider in Warzone. It's one of the main things that actually stops me from playing it, because PC players quite literally have an advantage over us in game. They can see far more in their peripheral view. They already have literal graphical improvements like NVIDIA graphics cards and shit, so they can just lighten everything up and make the colors more vibrant. They can make distant look more sharp, so they can actually see people better. It's really annoying because we're still having to work with a shitty 80 field of view on console, so doesn't really make sense. On top of all this, right, I personally think that having Modern Warfare hosting Warzone makes the game feel discredited, and this is something I've noticed for a long time. Modern Warfare, for what it is, or for what it was, is an amazing game, and the fact that so many people tend to just play Modern Warfare's multiplayer for leveling up their guns in Warzone, I feel like it detracts the light away from the game. It generally makes Modern Warfare feel like a game that's just there as a side piece just for Warzone, like it's there for aiding everyone in their Warzone progression, when Modern Warfare alone was one of the best Call of Duty games to come out to the franchise. And I think if they were to just separate Warzone entirely, it would give games, like individual COD games, more spotlight for what they are, and it would allow developers to think, right, we actually need to work harder on these individual games and fix what Call of Duty is, because now Call of Duty is relying on Warzone. It's literally come to the point where Activision just wants to work on Warzone all the time. They want all the work for the devs to be on Warzone because, you know, it makes the most fucking money for their company. And, you know, they don't give a shit about all the effort that goes into the annual COD games anymore. It almost seems like the COD games now are just like a ground for Warzone's building blocks, if you know what I'm trying to say, just because of the amount of money it makes them. They literally don't care about how good the quality comes out of the actual COD games. They just want to see how Warzone thrives and makes them a ton of cash, which really pisses me and a lot of people off, as you can imagine. So, honestly, I think if you're just going to keep, you know, such a popular game that Warzone is, attached to a 2-year-old game, you might as well just suspend it and just completely leave it in the past, like Blackout did with Black Ops 4. They didn't continue it and, you know, bring it onto later games. They just left it where it was with Black Ops 4 and just left it a part of the game and didn't continue updating it. Just, if you're going to do that with, you know, with Modern Warfare and Warzone, just leave it in the past and make something new. Honestly, I don't know why the fuck Battle Royales are still popular anyway, because, to be honest, they're kind of just boring as fuck and ridiculously sweaty. And yeah, so, I mean, if you're just going to continue attaching it to Modern Warfare, then just leave it in the past, or just move it to fucking Vanguard. It's not very difficult. But the thing I really want to get onto is that just really sickens me, is because of the Caldera Season 1 update for Vanguard and Warzone, it's physically fucked up Modern Warfare and Cold War I know. Modern Warfare, you can see why it would happen, since I just said it's literally attached to Warzone. But Cold War, how does that even happen? You had Cold War literally pretty much only changing the home screen for the little cutscenes. So you have all the cutscenes mashed up into one big extravaganza now on the loading screen. So you got all of the seasons cutscenes in one. And then the only other thing the other changed about that was the ranking and progression, which is now running under Vanguards. That's the only two things that really changed in it, and I did check that because one of my subscribers asked in my Season 1 video, you know, if I could check for them, so I did, and they're like the only changes in there. There is no new weapons. There is supposed to be a second year, but nothing's really changed so far, so I don't know what's going to happen there, but quite literally, I don't get how, like, one change with the ranking can actually fuck Cold War's system up entirely. And I'm going to run through all the issues. Modern Warfare being the main one, and it is literally in critical condition right now, and it's really bad. So, just to name a few bugs, Modern Warfare has experienced a ton of bugs, hitching, and other things like that wasn't actually there until Season 1 of Caldera actually rolled out. And yeah, it's actually come to the point now where QA testers over at Raven are not checking for these updates or bugs and issues because they were fired. They were fucking fired. And if you don't know what a QA tester is, it's basically the people who test games, run them and play them before an update rolls out, just to make sure everything is all good and stable. But now that they're fired, Warzone literally hasn't got a team to check where these bugs are or all the other games that are coming out under this update. They've not got anyone to actually check for the problems. So now the games are just literally becoming unstable. And yeah, there is a massive list of bugs that have happened in Modern Warfare alone, and it's pretty much butchered the game. It's very, very sad to see such a brilliant game become destroyed because of one fucking update. And yeah, it's actually making console players unable to play Warzone. These are all update problems that are all happening. It's becoming unplayable, and I just want to mention those real quick before I get into the Modern Warfare bugs. Warzone has been experiencing, mainly on console, audio issues, where in particular players can hear sound of every gunfire from across the map. So enemy gunfire, they can hear it for some fucking reason. That's an issue. You can also experience lots of issues where the audio completely cuts out or stutters and other weird shit like that, which is kind of, you know, very serious for a Battle Royale game. As we all know, Battle Royales are very dependent on the quality of audio. It's very important, and you do need it, otherwise it can be the difference between life and death in a Battle Royale game. So the fact that the audio has been playing up for a lot of people, not good at all. It's just unacceptable. I can't even believe that's even an issue, but yeah. And there's also been texture errors, apparently, where people are coming into the game, the map doesn't even load up properly, or the weapons become like some sort of mesh that literally obscures the fucking screen. I will put some of these on screen from Reddit as well, some examples of these issues, just so you can actually get a taste for what that actually looks like. And yeah, there's also extreme lag spikes that are coming out of absolutely nowhere, and games just randomly crashing when it tries to load itself. And I personally have experienced that myself. One too many times for that matter, actually, in Warzone. Over this entire year, I remember just booting at Warzone, and then it just sort of goes black screen, and then it just says, oh, like, connection error or something, and you basically got to go into another match. And I think if you've watched Xavvo's latest video, one of his latest videos, as of now I'm recording this, he's had that issue where he literally went into Warzone, and then it completely just kicked him out, which is so weird.
Gonna crash. Okay, what did I do wrong? Shit just straight up closed. I didn't even get a dev error. It just closed.
It just does that. It randomly just crashes for no apparent reason. But I also heard that's even better, right? On top of the texture errors, there's apparently people experiencing a glitch where you can actually select a particular skin and it makes you invisible. How the fuck has it come to that? that players can be invisible. I thought the rose skin issue back in Verdansk was bad when you couldn't see, you know, people wearing the rose skin because they would literally hide in shadows. They'd camouflage. I think that was mainly before the Black Ops Cold War update was rolled out to Warzone. But yeah, so I thought that was bad, but now people are physically able to make themselves invisible. Bravo, Call of Duty. Bravo. But yeah, so here's the issues, finally we're going to get round to, with Modern Warfare's multiplayer, that I did have to take, sadly, as it is very painful to admit, from one of Blame Truth's videos, and I gotta admit, it is a good video. I don't like Blame Truth, I fucking despise the guy, I think all he does is rants about shit, and even when it's not necessary, we might turn like the most minuscule issue into just the biggest problem on earth, but this video was very good, and oh boy is it bad, the list of things that have been listed for Modern Warfare. And I'm not going to read them, because there is fucking tons of them. As you can see, here are the Vanguard Integration Season 1 bugs for Modern Warfare. I'm going to have them on screen, specifically being menu UI not loading, other stuttering in games and shit, uninstalled packs, that's a major one I've heard about, packs from Modern Warfare just uninstalling on their own. There has been problems where the game just crashes. There's been errors with the RAL MG is now gone for some reason. It's just disappeared. Loadout is a major thing. There's been loadout select pop out every now and then. So whilst you're playing a match, it just pops up your fucking loadout screen. You know when you're like selecting loadout to pick what you want to use for the game? It just keeps popping that up on people's screen while they're trying to play, which if you're playing S&D, that's going to be very, very difficult to manage. You know, you're going to probably get fucking killed by someone when that pops up. And yeah, just other bugged issues and maps never loading. That is one I've noticed a long time, actually, in Modern Warfare. Probably even just earlier this year, I would try and load up Modern Warfare custom games to try and like go on certain maps and get cinematics for, I think it might have been for a montage I made like last year or this year, something like that. I think it was this year. And I couldn't go on certain maps because it wasn't letting me. It was like not loading. Like I would select the map, and when I clicked start game, it would just never start. It would just sit there in the lobby, like counting down, and then it would just revert and just go over again. Like I could never get into certain maps on Modern Warfare, which I'm not surprised that people are now experiencing this with actual in-game instead of just custom games. That is just ridiculous. So that's just a few that I've really noticed and seen people talk about, but obviously there is a big list that was on screen just to kind of explain a lot of that as well, which is just so fucking annoying that Modern Warfare is becoming broken because of a Caldera update on Warzone. I mean, for fuck's sake, come on, man. Like, it's so dumb, and the fact that a billion-dollar company cannot even, like, fix these issues or like be aware of them. The fact that there's like these huge lists of just issues, it's concerning, and I think it's generally going to kill Modern Warfare if they don't do something about it. And yeah, on top of that, you might have actually noticed the game for some reason has been called IW8 Ship. I don't know what the hell happened there. But yeah, I noticed that the other day after the Season 1 update, after they kind of reverted the original the cover pieces for the games for Cold War and whatnot, and they, you know, reverted a bunch of updates to how they used to be before the seasonal content. Modern Warfare randomly became named as IW8 Ship. I'm guessing that's like a code name for the game, or whatever it was before the game actually was dropped under the name Modern Warfare. But that is fucking terrible. I don't know what's happened there. So anyone who buys the game will think, hang on, am I playing IW8 Ship or am I playing Modern Warfare? It's so dumb. Honestly, I feel bad, actually, for the players who are spending 60 quid or 60 bucks on this game at the moment, because, yeah, believe it, there is people still buying Modern Warfare because it was that good of a game. And some people physically don't want to play Vanguard or Cold War because those two games just aren't to everyone's taste, and other people are just saying, no, I'm not buying them because they don't want to support the newer COD games because they don't think they're good enough standard, which I honestly understand why you would think that. And to make it clear, I do enjoy Vanguard. I enjoy it a lot. I'm having so much fun with it, but just little bugs can get very annoying, And I think with Cold War, I enjoyed the zombies. It did get repetitive over time, playing it a lot, but it was fun. Multiplayer, I hated it, but it started to grow on me a bit as the game got loads of updates throughout the year that it was in its life cycle. So I don't hate the games, but I understand why people won't want to buy them and want to stay to Modern Warfare. But I just feel bad that people who are trying to play Modern Warfare are physically having their game ruined because of some stupid Warzone update that they probably don't even care about, that they just have to listen to because it's there attached to the game. And, you know, people who are buying the game now are getting it in a state where it's a horrible, broken mess and all that sort of shit. I just feel really bad, and hopefully, I hope you really do get your refund, because I don't know if this will either get fixed or not, or if this is intentional on Activision's behalf, but I'll get around to that in a minute. But, oh, not in a minute, but, you know, later in the video. But yeah, I don't know. I hope you get your refund, or if they do something, at least I hope they fix it, because, yeah, Modern Warfare has become some sort of, like, breeding ground for Warzone. Every time you come on, Warzone's plastered on it. That's already been an issue as it is, but now we're having to face issues in Modern Warfare as a result of Warzone's consequences, which is just so dumb, honestly. But yeah, I also want to talk about Cold War. Let's talk about Cold War's issues. There's apparently weapon progression errors where players are experiencing their classes removing all the attachments off their guns when they come onto the game, and apparently they're locked or something like that, where they're being told they've got to, like, level up to level 55 again or something. I think this is because of Vanguard's, like, progression sort of ranking system. I think that's what's done this. It's caused, like, everything to revert, or most of them, so everyone has to try and reach, like, level 55 before all their attachments just appear again, which is super fucking weird. I don't know why that's an issue. So yeah, there's something very specifically with class setups and other stuff that's weirded out with Cold War. I wouldn't worry though. I don't think any of this or any of your progress is actually lost, or anything like that, or damaged as a result. But I think it's just some sort of in-game error that's just glitching things out. So that's as far as I know about that. But there could be more issues. Let me know in the comments if there is any other issues you know of. But yeah, like, honestly, I'm really intrigued to know what you guys think in the comments. Tell me what you've been experiencing, if there's anything you know of that I haven't mentioned. But yeah, it's really bad. And funnily enough, you think Vanguard's the culprit breaking all these old games. Vanguard itself is pretty broken. And I know there is a huge list for that as well, which I'm going to put on the side of the screen. It's ridiculous. This is off Reddit. I think Blame Truth did talk about this specific subreddit as well, but it's fucking embarrassing. There is like over 100 bugs in Vanguard alone. Over 100 bugs. How is that physically possible? I haven't experienced most of these, keep it in mind, but these things, I'm not going to deny them being there, because Vanguard is just another one of those games that have launched in a pretty crappy state, I'd say. I mean, it's far better than Cold War in its early state, but oh my, is it probably not that good. I mean, Jesus, the amount of bugs there are and other issues, I'm not going to dismiss this list. They probably are there, and I'm just not noticing them, or I'm not utilizing as much of the game as possible, because there's some people who like to play all different types of game modes and all different parts of the game, which I would probably never touch in a blue moon. But it's pretty fucking bad. It's pretty bad. Just this huge list. But I know mainly that I'm experiencing the game crashing. I've been booting up Vanguard, and sometimes as I just come onto the game, it freezes. It just randomly freezes, and then it just kicks me out of the game. I have to literally open the whole game again. I'm not talking like multiplayer backs out, like the actual full game. I get kicked out of it on Xbox, so I have to open the game again and come back onto it. So that's something I have definitely noticed, which probably is listed in here somewhere. On top of that, I do actually keep getting an annoying issue where after a match, and I go over to my loadouts, you know, to check my attachments or camo progression and whatnot. Like, I go onto it, and when I try to click the loadouts, it keeps pushing me back to the play section. So, you know, the tabs are sectioned on the top to play, and then you've got, like, barracks and whatever. I tried to go over to the loadout section, and every time I click it, it just knocks me back to the homepage. I do it like, it takes about 3 attempts before I can actually access my loadouts. I don't know if you guys have experienced that, but I get that a lot. And yeah, sometimes I come onto Vanguard from time to time and my loadouts are completely locked, like as if it was during the beta where you came on and the loadouts were just locked. You couldn't access them unless you had the full game. That's what I get sometimes. I come onto Vanguard and the loadouts are locked. I have to physically play a match or close Vanguard and come back on again to get rid of that issue, which it's not terrible, you know, it's definitely annoying, but it's not terrible. I can just go into a game knowing what gun I'm using anyway, where I've picked up from the last day, and then I come back on after that match and the loadouts are unlocked again, but it's super dumb. I don't know why that is even a thing, but yeah, there's definitely bugs with the loadouts in Vanguard that I'm noticing, and game crashing. And also, something I think that did get fixed with Season 1, to be fair to them, was a weird setting issue where, like, my fidelity and depth of field settings were just consistently getting reverted every time I came on the game. Like, it would just never save what I'd put them under, so it would always switch the fidelity off and put it back to 0.80, which I am using now. I'm not using the 1.00 because it makes the game really sharp and it looks disgusting, but it would revert it back to 80, turn it off, and then it would switch on my depth of field when I wanted it off, so I always had to keep turning them on and off when I came back on the game. So thank God that was fixed with Season 1. That was very annoying. But yeah, but I just generally think, as an overall conclusion to this video, I feel like this entire thing may have actually been intentional. From Modern Warfare to Cold War to, I don't know about Warzone and Vanguard, that's clearly a fuck up on their behalf because they are the latest games and they are trying to squeeze as much milk out of this as possible. So honestly, I don't know why that's happening, but it wouldn't surprise me that people who aren't buying Vanguard or Warzone, you know, are getting bugs in Modern Warfare and Cold War. It almost seems like some sort of targeted attack where, like, Activision is just, or whoever it is bugging the games to oblivion so that people will move to the newer games to play them because the other ones are in unplayable conditions. And if that is what they're doing, I am just disgusted by that. Because they are the most money-hungry assholes I have ever seen in gaming. It's ridiculous. The fact that they only care about the amount of cash that they can fucking squeeze out of Warzone annually, and, like, you know, how much they can make from in-game purchases within the store, you know, the bundles and whatnot, and the battle pass. It wouldn't surprise me if this is what their plan was, you know, to get people to play the new games. I wouldn't be surprised that that's what's going on. And I also heard that Season 1's battle pass and the whole bundle update was rolled out a lot earlier than Cold War and Modern Warfare. They dropped it now for some reason, whilst Modern Warfare waited probably a good 2 months before they dropped their first season, which was in January. And it's almost like they're doing this because they know, hey, it's the holiday time, guys. It's Christmas, and, you know, everyone with their little $20 gift cards are gonna go buy another battle pass or hop into the bundles and get something really cool this Christmas because we just want to make an influx of money. That's what it's coming across as, and it would not be surprising to me, considering just the tendencies that Activision have, and it's ridiculous. But honestly, you know, they're just making a bootload of money, and if their, you know, the little employees don't like that, they've got no issue with happily just booting them out and replacing them, because that's the state of Activision. None of them care for their co-workers, their other workers within the environment. You know, they've already got this whole, you know, lawsuit that they're facing about the sexual assault allegations going on within the workplace and how it's poor work environment for the staff and employees overall. So clearly, they have no sense of remorse for what they've done. They're actually apparently keeping one of the heads in that develops Sledgehammer or something, who is facing the sexual assaults or something. I don't know if it's in Sledgehammer, I heard, or if it was just in Activision in general. But there's one of the heads they're actually keeping in there that they don't want to get rid of because they're defending him, right? And he's facing the major sexual assault allegations, and they're just keeping him in there for some weird reason. I don't know why. And I mean, how is that going to be good for the work environment? How does that make a happy, healthy environment where developers and workers can make a new game and feel good about it and feel that they're safe, or feel that when they put a game out that everyone's going to love it? Because it's not like that anymore. I feel like Activision's just becoming this disgusting, money-hungry, pig-like community that just wants to grab everyone's money. They're putting half-assed games up every year that, in this case, was actually really good. Multiplayer is really fun, but Zombies is absolute ass. It's just not acceptable. They're posting these games where there's tons of fucking bugs. They're kicking their own QA testers out, so now no one's there to fix them as quick enough. So now there's going to be a pile of just errors and errors and errors that are not going to get fixed for a long time now. It's not looking good for Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty is dying to a degree. As sad as I am to say that, because I still do enjoy it, but I just feel like the game is dying. The franchise is dying. And it's just disappointing. Yeah, that's all I have to say. So thank you for watching. If you leave a like if you'd enjoy, and yeah, it would help me out greatly. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys. Yeah. Just wow.